Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Foodie Friday. It's the middle of October and here in Tulsa it's still really warm during the daytime. We're expecting a high today of like 85 to 87 degrees, but when the sun starts to go down the temperatures really begin to drop. And I notice as the season is shifting and changing, my palate has started to change as well. So I want to make a few recipes for you today that I would consider to be really excellent transitional recipes as we're transitioning from the late summer into autumn. And you might expect that I'm going to make something out of my new digital collection, Falling into Raw, but I decided to surprise you a little bit today and go back to our last 11-week initiative, was Revealing Your Inner Rock Star. And the recipe portion of that digital book set had 90 recipes in it. And I don't really think that I made that many of them for you. So we're going to pull that out and we are going to make the kicked up cream of carrot soup, which is wonderful for this time of the year. You can add a little heat to it if you're needing something to warm you up a little bit. You can also blend it until it's warm in the Vitamix, or if it's really cold where you are, you can put it on a little saucepan and heat it up a little bit on your stove. Obviously, you don't want to overheat it, but that's a way to get something warm into you if those evenings are really getting cold. I'm also going to make the wild green salad. I've got arugula and some dandelion greens because I love wild greens, but they have a real bite to them. Arugula or rocket is really peppery. And dandelion greens are pretty hardcore. I mean, they're definitely a more bitter green, but when you add some seasonal fruit to a salad like that, it's just absolutely wonderful, extremely alkalinizing and nutrient dense. So we're going to do the living green salad. I found some mango, raspberry, and some Concord grapes that were organic at Whole Foods this morning. So that's what we're going to put that salad together. I'm also going to make the recipe for my living sour cream and show you how you can very easily add a couple of ingredients to that and turn it into a delicious vanilla, a sweet vanilla yogurt that you can use in the mornings over your granola or fresh fruit. So let's go into the raw food kitchen and check it out. Let's start off making the living sour cream. The great thing about this recipe is it's really pretty simple and it's versatile. Depending upon where you live and what the availability of ingredients are, you get to pick what the base of your sour cream is going to be. Here are your options. You can use the inside meat of young Thai coconuts, or you could use some soaked nuts. I have cashews, but macadamia nuts also work really well, and you're going to want to soak your nuts just a little bit, maybe an hour to 2 hours before blending them. They're just going to break up a lot easier that way. We're going to use some lemon juice. I like to add in the inside of one probiotic capsule. This is the brand that I really like, New Chapter Organics, all flora. That's just what I happen to like and use. Most any probiotic capsule or powder will work in this. And then just a little pinch of sea salt. So let me show you how to put this together. I don't think I've ever really showed you all how I open a young Thai coconut. I take a serrated knife, like a bread knife basically, and I cut away just this woody part. I just get that woody part off of the top of it, and you're going to just kind of cut into where the actual round part of the hard coconut is. This just makes it so much easier to find there's like a sweet spot on every one of these young Thai coconuts. And I've tried all different kinds of ways. You can just see that I cut away, and we've now got the hard coconut shell exposed. Now I happen to have one of these big meat, whatever that is, meat cleaver, I guess. So you're just going to pop it until you find a soft spot. And then it just cracks right open. Did you see that? I just hit it twice and it just does a neat little opening. How cool is that? Okay, so what I will do is I'll pour this water off, which I'll end up using in green smoothies, or a lot of times I just drink it straight up. That's the way I like it. And then I'm going to scoop the meat out, and we're going to blend that with those other ingredients to create our sour cream. You can take your meat cleaver and crack into that. Sorry, my dog always thinks I'm like killing an animal or something. and just crack that right open, and that makes getting that meat out so much easier than just trying to hack away down in that little tiny hole opening. So you want to make sure that you don't get any of this husk into your yogurt. That's going to make the blending process a little bit more challenging. So we just gently scoop that meat out and put it into a bowl. So I'm going to do that with all 3 coconuts. Be right back. Inside the Vitamix, I have the meat of 3 young coconuts, the juice of 1 organic lemon, the inside of a probiotic capsule. That's that kind of tan color that you see in there, and then about 1/8 of a teaspoon of sea salt. We're going to blend this until it's the consistency of sour cream. You can add in a little bit of water if you need to blend it, but you don't want to get it too watery because you know, you just don't want it too watery, because we're also going to be turning this into yogurt in a little bit. So that's the consistency that you're going for. Okay, here is the finished sour cream. And you can see that it's still got a little bit of thickness to it. It looks just like sour cream to me. What I will do with this is take out about half of it and add a little bit of organic raw honey and either a little pinch of raw vanilla powder, or I also have organic vanilla extract. I don't know which one of those I'm going to use yet. I've used both. I tend to kind of gravitate more towards the vanilla extract on this for the yogurt. So half of it will be sour cream, half of it will be yogurt. Now, the part that's going to be the sour cream, I will leave on my countertop overnight. That's going to allow that probiotic to go to work, and it's going to ferment it just a little bit more. You can certainly use it just like it is right now. It still has that tart. The lemon gives it a nice tart flavor, but to increase the probiotic value of it, letting this ferment overnight is really going to add to it. And then you want to put it in an airtight container, and it'll keep in your refrigerator for several days. Usually mine keeps well for maybe 5 or 6 days, although it's usually gone by then. So I like to make things in small batches like that because I find that I don't waste as much. So the inside of 3 young coconuts, or probably you're going to want to soak about 1.5 cups of nuts. But those recipes, again, are in Revealing You're in a Rock Star. Let's go on to the soup. The kicked up cream of carrot soup is a classic, delicious recipe for any time of the year, really. You're going to start with 2 pounds of organic carrots. I'll scrub these and just trim the ends, because sometimes those ends are just a little bit bitter, and you want to make sure that you remove any debris or anything off the carrots. I don't peel them. You can if you prefer that, but I leave the peeling on. We're going to chop these up and add them to our Vitamix, along with 1/2 cup of, normally I would do fresh apple juice, but at Whole Foods this morning they had fresh apple cider that was unpasteurized. So I grabbed it up and brought it home, so that's what we're going to use. I'm going to do a little bit of freshly grated ginger, which is going to add a warming effect to the soup without cooking it. We're going to put in a little bit of extra virgin cold pressed olive oil. This is a brand I particularly like. It's available at Whole Foods. It's an Italian brand, so it's really good. A little bit of freshly cracked pepper, a pinch of sea salt, a couple of tablespoons of the raw organic honey. Now, I will add a little bit of crushed red pepper to this to heat it up even more. My husband really likes spicy food. I won't add a lot, though, because I don't want it to overpower the soup. You could certainly omit that. As a matter of fact, it's not even listed in the recipe ingredients list, but that's just a little add-on. And then turmeric, I can't really pronounce that word properly. Turmeric, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. This is such a superfood, and it's the base of curry. So it's a huge cancer-fighting ingredient. So I like to put ground turmeric in a recipe definitely like this. The flavors marry really well together. And then the recipe also calls for the base. Instead of just using water, you're going to use 2 cups of coconut water, which I just happen to have. But if you don't, you could certainly buy one of these ready-to-go brands. We have Zyco here. We also have, I think it's Get Naked. I think we have Vita Coco. So these are available at most health food stores, or you can order it online. You could certainly just use a base of water, or the balancing broth that I used last week. Would all work really well with this recipe. Let's blend it up. There is the kicked up cream of carrot soup. Now, you can see what I've done with that sour cream. I just took it and put it in a little Ziploc bag and cut a little tiny hole in the corner, and I just drizzled it around and around, and then I took a wooden skewer and kind of pulled down, as you can see, to make it look a little bit like a spider web. I thought that might be kind of fun for this time of the year, and I had just taken this outside for a photo shoot, so it looked a lot better when I very first put it together, but the heat outside made it made the distinction on the spider web kind of dissipate just a little bit. But that soup is so delicious. It makes a full blender full, so you may want to cut this recipe in half if you're just serving yourself or maybe 2 people. So that's the carrot soup. Now here is the wild greens salad. Check this out. It's just bitter greens of arugula and dandelion green with a little bit of fresh mint out of my garden. Toss that in a lime balsamic vinaigrette. The recipe will be underneath this video. I added a little bit of honey to the vinaigrette because those greens are really do have a bite to them. So with these bitter greens, fruit just goes really well. So we've got golden raspberries. I've cut some grapes in half, and then we've got some red raspberries and some freshly sliced mango. So that's just a really wonderful salad that you're going to get the full spectrum of flavors in, along with this soup. So this is a great lunch or dinner. This would be very filling for a dinner meal for sure. So I hope that you all enjoyed that. I love filming Foodie Friday, and I hope this was a great episode. Well, I've been in the kitchen sampling the finished product. I love both of the recipes. I did want to mention, if you're new to raw and living foods, the wild green salad may be just a little bit bitter because those greens really are peppery. What I would suggest is using a more mild green like romaine or leafy green lettuce, and then just adding a little bit of arugula or dandelion green into that. And so you just might want to ease your way into a little bit more of a wild salad like that. The fruit definitely makes the difference, and adding the honey to the dressing was like the perfect thing. On the creamy carrot soup, I would say to cut back on the ginger a little bit, but that's just my taste. My husband loves ginger. He loves anything hot and spicy. I would cut back on the ginger a little bit, and instead of using a whole large onion that the recipe calls for, I just used half of the onion, and that was plenty. It made a full pitcher of soup. So what I did is I took half of it and put it in the refrigerator. The other half, I blended in about 1.5 cups of small cherry tomatoes that I had from my garden. I'm still getting a few tomatoes. So I added that and some garlic into it, and it made it just, the flavor just different enough. So now we've got, they're both quite orange, but they taste quite a little bit different just with the garlic and the tomato. So I just want to encourage you to have fun with the recipes, change them up to your palate and how you like them. The sour cream really made it. That brought all those flavors together. So there was a little bit of sweet and then a little bit of tangy, creamy. I think you're really going to enjoy those recipes. And I've had so many people asking me, now that the Revealing Your Inner Rock Star initiative is over, they want to know, can I buy just the educational part of the book, or can I buy just the recipes? They don't necessarily want to do the whole kit and caboodle. So I'm going to do that for you. If you're interested in just the recipes, it's $15. There's 90 recipes. It's a great deal. I particularly like to have photos. I'm a visual person. So the photo digital book and the main educational digital book I'm going to sell for $12 each. You can save a little bit of money and order all 3 of them for the asking price of $33. But if you'd like to separate it and just have the recipes, you can do that. I will put the link to that underneath this video. So if you're interested in adding to your list of recipes, feel free to do that. You guys know I love you. I'll look forward to being back again with you on Raw Food Rehab next Monday. I'll see you then. Bye.